Coming up on SCVTV's Community Corner, Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital is here to tell us about an amazing life-saving program that gives premature babies a fighting chance.
Discover the creative fun in store this summer at ARTree Community Arts Center.
The golden age of cinema returns to Santa Clarita. Hear what's in store at this year's Newhallywood Silent Film Festival.
See what barnyard critters are waiting for you at the Hart Park Critter Fair and meet 3 of them right here in the studio.
Stay tuned. SCVTV's Community Corner starts now. Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley, to SCVTV's Community Corner. I'm Carrie Lujan.
And I'm Dave Caldwell. The show is all about Santa Clarita, why it's such a great place to live, work, and play. And Carrie, we have another great show in front of us today.
Dave, today's show is just going to be absolutely fantastic. Mother's Day may have passed, but let's be real, we should be celebrating moms every day. Today we're shining a light on a life-saving breast milk donation program that helps newborns battling NEC. One of Henry Mayo's own lactation consultant coordinators is here to tell us more.
We're also diving into the ARTree summer camps and their upcoming art show. It's a perfect way for kids to get creative this summer. And stick around to meet 3 adorable animals from the Hart Park Critter Fair. It's not every day you get to see barnyard animals in the heart of the city.
Oh, it's going to be a good show, Dave. Exciting things are happening. And where have you been? Because I understand exciting things were happening for you, darling.
Yeah, yeah. I've been traveling around a little bit, and for Masters athletics, beach volleyball is in the national championships, the GSAC Conference baseball championships. But what was really super exciting was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, our men's volleyball team won the national championship.
Congratulations. That's huge.
It's huge. Plus, they went undefeated. Now, here's what happened. So, is the number 1 team, we were the number 1 team all season long. Number 2 team was St. Xavier out of Illinois, out of Chicago, Illinois. They were number 2 all season long. And it really came together. Both teams came together undefeated and found themselves the final 2 teams in the national championship tournament, and it was Masters that came away and won it. And
that's awesome.
Well, the last time the Mustangs lost was in the national championship a year ago against Georgetown. So for them to be able to do this, it's the first time a men's team has won an NAIA national championship in school history, just the 2nd national championship behind the women's cross country earlier this year. So it was pretty exciting. Braden Van Groningen named the player of the tournament, the MVP of the tournament. He's the player of the year in the NAIA, according to the AVCA. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was a really great moment for the team and for the guys to all come together. Very united group.
I love that. Congratulations to them. That's really huge.
Yeah, we were very excited about that. So I was gone. I was on the road doing all that. Anything exciting happening around Santa Clarita for you?
Always exciting things happening. But I have to say, I went to FestAbility for the first time, and that's an amazing event that celebrates our special needs community here in Santa Clarita. And it was just so joyful. Everybody there was having such a good time. It was so inclusive. There was amazing performances. There was wrestling. I think it's Pro Wrestling Odyssey was there. They were good. And you know I'm a wrestling fan, so we were all about it. And everyone was so excited, cheering them on. Sammy Clarita was there. He climbed the rock wall. So mark your calendars for FestAbility next year. It's really special. It's something that everyone should check out.
What was it that you saw that made you go, I would never have thought I could see anything like that?
I think it was just the joy on everyone's faces, and how, when I'm talking about inclusive, like the rock wall, they were able to strap the kids who were in wheelchairs and take them up the rock wall with the entire wheelchair. Wow. Like, it was just giving a chance for every child who was there to enjoy every part of the event. It was really special.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Well, we got a great show in front of us, so please stay with us.
The William S. Hart Union High School District is an exemplary district located in Santa Clarita, California, a community nestled in North Los Angeles County. The Hart District, rated as one of the top secondary districts in the state of California, strives to make a difference in the lives of our diverse student body by instilling a sense of community, courage, creativity, and caring. We do this by working together to offer high-performing academic programs, championship athletic teams, award-winning performing arts, and a robust career and technical education program. For our teachers and staff, we offer competitive salaries, a great benefits package, and a chance to work with our amazing students. Being in Santa Clarita offers the opportunity to be just minutes from it all. The beach, mountains, desert, close to the excitement of Los Angeles, all while living in a beautiful and safe community. So we invite you to meet with us and think about joining the William S. Hart District family, where we believe in one heart, every student, opportunity ready.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. May is Neck Awareness Month. NEC, short for necrotizing enterocolitis, is a serious intestinal disease that mostly affects premature babies. It's actually one of the leading causes of death in neonatal care units. And while it mainly impacts preemies, full-term babies with medical complications can also be at risk.
What many people don't realize is that there's a powerful tool in helping protect against NEC, and that's breast milk. But what happens if a mom can't produce enough and formula isn't an option? That's when donor milk from a milk bank can truly be a lifesaver.
And that's why we're so glad to have Shannon Cleaver with us today. She's the Lactation Program Coordinator at Mayo Newhall Hospital, and she's here to tell us how donor milk works and how you can get involved. Shannon, welcome. It's so nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So I don't think that people realize that donating breast milk is, and it's safe to say that many people don't even know that milk banks exist or that donating is an option. Tell us a little bit more about why milk bank services are so crucial.
So like you said, they do help save lives. They allow for sometimes a stopgap while mom is having her milk increase in volume. When babies are born, we typically have lower volume milk because their bellies are really small, but sometimes sicker babies that are hypoglycemic or that have to go to the NICU need more volume. And milk banks help with that. They let us give moms that breast milk that they need.
And to be clear, breast milk is by far the best thing a baby can have, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
It is.
And so the milk bank is one thing, but Henry Mayo is a depot. What is the difference between a milk bank and a depot?
So we're a depot, so we actually collect milk from moms who have pumped, and we send it up to San Jose to the milk bank that we are associated with, where they pasteurize it, they test it, and then they bottle it up and send it back out to different hospitals, including us.
Talk about the process of actually donating milk. Actually, one of my friends, when we were all having our babies, she was donating milk, and she did it for, I want to say, like 2 years after she had her baby.
That's amazing. So moms are tested. It's all paid for by the milk bank. They are asked to get a blood test. The pediatricians have to sign off. It's saying that their baby is healthy. It's very strict. They can't be drinking alcohol. They can't be taking medications, even some supplements, because they don't want moms trying to up their supply just to donate. These are moms that are typically naturally overproducers. But they are tested. Every time they come in, they have to answer a questionnaire. So if they're delivering milk to us, they answer a questionnaire that goes over like if they've had illness that during the time they were pumping. But that's kind of how it works, is that they do get tested, and then moms pump, they can bring it to us, or they can send it up to the milk bank themselves.
So Henry Mayo isn't just a depot for donor milk, but it also has a slate of really helpful lactation services available to moms. Tell us what some of those services might be.
So we have our prenatal classes, actually, which we do have online, a recorded prenatal breastfeeding class. And then when you're in the hospital having your baby, you will see a lactation consultant in there, more than once normally. And then once you go home, we do offer an outpatient service that's oftentimes covered by your insurance. If your insurance doesn't cover it, then we do have a cash pay price. And then we also have every Thursday at 9 and 10:15, we have support groups.
So the hospital recently held a milk drive. How was the turnout, and will there be more?
So we had an amazing milk drive. We got about 1,900 ounces in breast milk. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And we are having another one come the fall. It's going to be there October or November. We haven't set an exact date, but we're going to do a clean out your freezer for Thanksgiving.
So I'm curious about the donated milk. Who primarily needs the donated milk? Is it moms that are maybe low income or socially economically disadvantaged? Is it foster kids? Where is the need the greatest for donated breast milk?
So In most hospitals, the need, I would say, would be the greatest in the NICU. Henry Mayo is kind of cutting edge, not kind of, we are cutting edge. And we have actually started using it on our postpartum floor for well-term babies that have medical indication. So we're probably now using more of it on our postpartum unit than we even are in our NICU. Again, as a stopgap, right? While we're trying to get that milk to increase in volume. So babies that are, like I said before, hypoglycemic, that have jaundice, hyperbilirubinemia, maybe mom has some issues, breast surgery, things like that. We do have those that milk available for them as well on the floor while they're increasing their volume.
This is bringing back all the memories of when I had my boys and going through that. And I will say breast pumps have changed a lot since the days when I was doing it. Like this one here is so pretty and soft. Like when I was going through it, it was like a hard plastic cup that doesn't.
You were talking about that because these are,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a completely different
experience
exactly.
than what it was when I went through it. But breast milk, they say it's liquid gold, and it is. Yes. Like it's so valuable to the kids. And I remember when I would pump and I would store it, and then my husband would like start defrosting it, and then I'd come home and he'd be like, "Oh, just go ahead and feed him." I'm like, "No, we are not wasting that. That has been defrosted." Yeah.
Yeah, it is liquid gold and very, very precious to babies that need it.
So if someone is interested in finding out about donating or maybe even finding out about getting donated milk, where could they go for more information?
They can either call my office or go to henrymayo.com on our website and hit under lactation services, and there's a lot of information there that they can get.
So Shannon Cleaver, the lactation program coordinator for Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital, we so thank you for coming in and talking about this. This is a very important topic and one that so many people actually don't know enough about, or maybe it's a little taboo for people to know or whatever, but thank you so much for coming in and talking about it today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Before we go, we want to take a moment to recognize the University of California Health Milk Bank. They weren't able to join us here in studio today, but we still want to recognize the incredible work that they're doing.
Their goal is simple but powerful: to provide safe, high-quality donor milk for medically fragile infants across California. A lot of people don't realize just how life-saving milk donation can be, especially for premature and critically ill babies.
In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that all babies born weighing less than 1,500 grams, or about 3.3 pounds, receive breast milk as their best source of nutrition. Every drop helps protect against NEC, the devastating bowel disease we've been talking about, and every bit counts for a fragile baby.
So if you'd like to join the milk movement, or if you're just curious about getting involved, visit ucmilkbank.ucsd.edu. There's more to come.
There is more to come. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh my gosh, you guys are not gonna believe what happened in math class today.
Happened.
So, John was assigned to sit in front of me in class,
Yeah.
and he kept bouncing his leg and looking over his shoulder, and I can tell he really might have a crush on me.
Probably does.
Yeah, I'll tell you more about it later. We have to go to class.
Alright.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh my god, I could have sworn you were a white girl. Are you sure you're black? You don't sound black.
Very good. You studied this time a lot, huh? Good job. You need to work on it, okay? Good job. Good job.
Dude, what are you doing? You know you did way better than the rest of us. I mean, look at you. Wait, seriously? Aren't agents supposed to be good at math? Look at this dude. Ang gulo ng buhok niya. Kailangan niya ng brush. Magbubuhol-buhol sa buhok niya.
Siya bigyan ng sabon para pumutin.
Anak!
Bilisan mo. Mahuhuli na tayo sa party ni Lola.
Oh, Anong problema mo? Anong nangyari?
It's nothing. Just another day.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. If you're running out of ways to keep your kids busy this summer, you're not alone. The good news is there are some great local programs that give kids a chance to get creative, express themselves, and have a lot of fun in the process.
And one place that's doing just that is the ARTree Community Arts Center. And here to tell us all about their summer programming and upcoming art show is ARTree's marketing chair, friend of the program, Casey Miller. Casey, it's always great to have you on.
Great to be here. I'm super excited to talk about the ARTree.
All right, so before we dive into the details of this wonderful summer program, let's remind the community of what ARTree is and why it's such a valuable resource we have here in Santa Clarita.
Absolutely. So the ARTree is located here in Old Town Newhall, and it is the Community Arts Center for Santa Clarita. We offer weekly classes and workshops, as well as monthly open art studios. There's volunteer opportunities, and we're involved in community art as well, public art. So it's important because it's a place where people can come, express themselves, and try something new. We're very beginner friendly as well as advanced. So whatever stage you are in your artistic journey, there's something for you. So I always encourage people to stop by. There's a beautiful courtyard that you can enjoy, along with like our signature iconic tree that's, you know, the staple of our location, and it's just a wonderful place to come and make some art.
I love that. So as we were talking about earlier, parents may be scrambling to find out what to do with their kids while school's out for summer. Tell us what you offer as far as summer programming.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a number of summer camps happening, kicking off in June, actually. But our Littles Camp is a great place for our 5 to 7 age kids to get hands-on with gluing, crafting, painting, kind of get messy, and make some fun projects this summer. We are currently full, so sorry, parents. But go ahead and add your name to the wait list. We always like to see the demand that parents are interested in our classes. They're structured to be small, so they're intimate, very hands-on. They're usually 6 to 9 kids per class, and you have weeks to choose from as well. So we have options to be flexible, I believe in July and August for those summer kids camps. But aside from that, we have a ton of other opportunities for adults and kids alike to get hands-on with art. We have our special needs summer camp, which is designed for those with developmental or intellectual disabilities. It's designed to be sensory friendly, structured and supported, so those that have any special needs are able to come with their aid or with, you know, a support to get hands-on with arts and crafts as well. Aside from that, adults always looking for a way to let your creativity shine. We have drawing classes and painting classes as well for adults.
And you've also got a pretty cool student art show I'm hearing about.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. How does that work? And is it open to all students? I mean, regardless of the age?
Yes. So our art show is coming up here the last week of May, so the weekend of May 31st. And it's our all-student art show. So all ages, all abilities, and it's showcasing our spring arts classes. So students that have been enrolled in our spring classes are having the opportunity to showcase their artwork. It's everything from 2D paintings, drawings, to 3D sculptures and projects. And it's just a really fun way for us to showcase our programs and what we've got going on at the ARTree. We are looking for sponsors to help cover some of the gallery costs, framing costs, and really do it nice. And we have a reception on May 31st, which will involve a silent auction. We have some donated art from our ARTree teachers as well as board members that is up for silent auction. So our reception is something we're really looking forward to. We encourage everyone to stop by, really soak in the creativity. That gallery is taking place in the Santa Clarita Artists Association exhibit, which is right next door, our neighbor. So we have a lovely space that we share with another arts organization. And who knows, you might see some of my art up in the silent auction.
I was going to ask, will there be any Casey Miller originals
you
up there?
know, I am ARTree's open to beginners and intermediate to advanced. I'm much more the beginner phase of my artistic journey. But who knows? You never know. You might see something there hanging with my name on it.
I love that. And there's also a scholarship opportunity for students. Tell us all about the Michael Powell Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah, so our Michael Powell Memorial Scholarship is in honor of Michael Powell, who was a beloved teacher at the ARTree, and it's really in honor of his legacy. He was always the patient, kind, really hands-on and accessible to our students. So this scholarship allows his memory to live on. It's open to those ages 13 and up. You don't have to be an ARTree student to apply, so it's open to the community. The award includes an art kit and 2 art classes that are privately scheduled at your convenience. You can choose between a drawing class or a watercolor class. So again, these are geared towards beginner, advanced. The teachers are ARTree teachers. They're amazing, very skilled, and able to teach a variety of levels. So I encourage those of you that are interested in receiving that art kit or lessons to apply. The deadline is May 19th, and we're looking forward to awarding someone in the community that very wonderful and important scholarship.
Yeah. We've talked about a lot of things here. Scholarship, the classes, what kids can do.
Casey Miller Originals.
Casey Miller Originals.
Yeah.
That's key right there. For sale, by the way, of course. But where can people go to get more information about the ARTree?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that we've talked about today, the summer camps, the art classes, the scholarships are available.
Casey Miller's artwork?
My artwork, no, are available. You can find more information at theartree.org. Sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date with all the fun things we've got going on, and also follow us on social media. Those links are all on our website, theartree.org.
Awesome. Casey, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you guys. Happy to be here.
All right. Stick with us. There's more to come.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. Step back in time for a night of movie magic that not only brings the silent film era to life, but also celebrates the Santa Clarita Valley's fascinating role in its history.
That's right, Dave. The Newhallywood Silent Film Festival is back with a weekend lineup full of iconic movies and cinematic treasures. And joining us today to tell us all about the festival is Phil Lantis, the City of Santa Clarita's Arts and Events Manager. Phil, it's so good to have you back.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Before we start with the fantastic lineup for this year, tell us how the Newhallywood Silent Film Festival came about.
So several years ago, probably about 8 or 9 now, a local film historian, E.J. Stevens, came to the city and said, you know what we need? We need a festival that celebrates film in Santa Clarita, and particularly the silent era, because silent films are a weird breed and they've kind of had fallen out of fashion, and you know, so it was an opportunity to create something that celebrates a particular part of time, but also Santa Clarita's huge role in that particular art form.
And it's such a great tool for students to learn about as well. So let's talk about this year's lineup. What's it going to be looking like? Who are you going to be honoring in this year?
So this year we're honoring 2 titans, and very different. One is Lon Chaney, who made 150 films, over 150 films. Sadly, only about 50 of them have survived, and that's one of the problems with silent films, is a lot of them are gone. But he was known as the man of 1,000 faces because he would often play characters that had heavy makeup and deformities and stuff. He really loved that and got known for that. And some of the ones we'll be showing are ones that people would know, like The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera. Those are 2 of his most famous, but he has tons of others. And the other is a gentleman named Sergei Eisenstein, who was a Soviet filmmaker and is world-renowned for his editing, in particular, a thing called Soviet Montage. And we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of probably his most famous film, Battleship Potemkin, which has been alluded to in a bunch of other films, and I'll talk more about that a little later. A certain sequence in the film that has been alluded to in all different types of film and TV.
Oh, wow. So how did you come up and select these two gentlemen to be featured this year?
So once again, EJ was kind of the brainchild behind it. He had, when he came to the city, he had the next 50 years mapped out of who could be honored. And particularly at this time, what's one of the key factors is we are exactly 100 years away from the heyday of silent film. So this year, I think we have 5 or 6 showings that are the 100th anniversary, not to the day, but to the year. And we want to take advantage of that while we can, because obviously once we get into the sound era in the next few years, it's going to be a little different. You know, the 110th anniversary just doesn't sound as good. So we'll still do it, but it just doesn't sound as good.
The centennial sounds much better.
So EJ, like I say, had set out this plan, and the couple that we're honoring this year are specifically because 2 of their most famous films are celebrating their 100th anniversary.
So will these films be shown in one venue, or are they going to be spread out?
So we have 2 venues this year. Primarily, it's at the Newhall Family Theater for the Performing Arts, which is a wonderful venue because you're already stepping back in time because it was opened in 1940, and the school district did a wonderful job of restoring it, and it feels like you're, like I say, like you're back in time. Maybe not the 20s, but pretty close. And the exciting news is from last year to this year, they actually did a lot of upgrades to their projection system. So I'm really excited to see. I will say we don't do film projection. We do DVDs and Blu-rays. We try to do Blu-rays for everything to have the best quality possible, but there are a few that aren't available that way. But I'm really excited to see the new projection system in action, because that's the joy of it, right, is seeing it on that big screen and really being able to process it.
Take it all in.
Yeah, exactly.
So if someone hasn't had that experience of the silent film era, why should they come check this out?
So silent film is very different than contemporary film because it told its story visually. Obviously, there were cards, interstitial cards that would tell some of the plot, but really what the filmmakers were doing was expressing things through the visual medium. So it's almost halfway between visual art and film. If you kind of imagine that blend, it's operating on that, or photography and film. It really is a very different thing. And kind of sadly, when sound came in, it actually took the visual part of the medium way back because they had to like block around the microphones and that sort of thing. So it took a long time, I would argue, till pretty recently before we got back to being able to communicate visually the way they were doing back in the teens and 20s. So it is a different thing. It's the pacing's a little different. Some of the acting is a little broad for contemporary standards, but if you let yourself kind of go into it and enjoy it and take it for what it is, it's a wonderful art form and a very interesting way. And of course, it helped found California and particularly LA area as the home for entertainment for the whole world. That happened because of the silent film.
And we talked about at the very beginning of this segment about how Santa Clarita played a pivotal role. What was the role that was played? I mean, were movies shot out here on location, studios? What was the role that was being played?
Absolutely. This was one of the favorite locations even back then, like it is now, but back then because it was close enough to get to be able to offer a variety of locations. And let's be honest, William S. Hart, who is a name we all know, was one of the biggest silent film stars of all time. And we forget that now because he doesn't carry over the way like Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton or some of the ones who are more known do. But he was a huge, huge star. And he was based here, and many of the others have had films shot here or have been involved out here when they were, back in the day, or even just came to visit because their friends were here. I mean, that was a very small town. You can still say Hollywood's a pretty small town, that everybody seems to know everybody, but we're talking a time where it was much, much smaller, and pretty much everyone knew everyone. So.
I want to hear more about the editing that you were talking about.
For the Soviet montage?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sergei Eisenstein and other Soviets developed this idea that if you put 2 images next to each other, they can express different things. That it's almost like creating a sentence with words. You could create a sentence with images. Okay. And it was actually their professor who came up with this. And an experiment they did is they took the same face of an actor with no expression and put that next to images of different things and then ask people, what did you get? So if you saw somebody, that guy next to a empty plate, then he looked hungry. And if you saw him next to somebody getting married, then he was happy. And it's your brain kind of does this thing. So Soviet montage was taking that to the next level. How do you tell a story that is much more cut than a lot of the silent films that we see that were made in America? So the famous sequence is the fourth sequence, or the fourth act of the film Battleship Potemkin, and it's called the Odessa Steps. And it's basically these revolutionaries coming off a boat, Bolsheviks, coming off this battleship, the Battleship Potemkin, imagine that, and encountering the Russian forces who are in their opposition. So the Russian forces are coming down the stairs as they're coming up the stairs, along with all the people of Odessa, so women and children and stuff. And one of the most famous shots, or series of shots, is a baby carriage bouncing down the stairs as this conflict is happening. And that's been replicated, probably most known in the Untouchables with Kevin Costner. There's a whole, in the train station, there's a whole sequence where a baby is going down the stairs and they're shooting around it and trying to catch it. And that is absolutely inspired, not shot for shot, but it's absolutely inspired by that sequence from 1925. So it's great. And of course, The Simpsons have done a parody of it as well, but that's true of almost everything at this point. But yeah, it's a really interesting, it's a very different approach than the American silent film. So it's going to be nice to kind of see that juxtaposition between, American films of the time and what they were doing in Russia.
So it's going to be held at a couple of different venues. Where can people go if they want to get more information? And when is it again? So
it is Memorial Day weekend, but not on Memorial Day, just to make it confusing. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. The second venue is the late night showing place, which is the Main. And we have 11 o'clock shows on both nights, Friday and Saturday night. And those are scary movies. We call them silent screams. This year, they happen to be Lon Chaney movies because he made so many horror films, which is great. And actually, both films are directed by a guy named Todd Browning, who is most famous for directing Dracula, the Dracula from 1931. Right. He went on to that, and he also made a movie that I love that's a little sensitive these days called Freaks, which used actual circus performers and sideshow performers in the film because he had grown up in that environment. So they're wonderful, and Lon Chaney in one plays an armless gentleman, and in the other one plays a man who's paralyzed, and it's amazing what he can do with his body and makeup and stuff. So yeah, that's the Friday and Saturday late night at 11 o'clock at the Main. All the others are at Newhall Family Theater. And the ones we're really highlighting are Saturday night at 8 is the 100th anniversary of Phantom of the Opera. And I guarantee, even if you haven't seen the movie, you know what that looks like, because when the face is revealed. Quick side note, I saw it when I was 8 years old at the Armory in a little town in Oregon. And it's part of what made me a huge film lover, because I was so blown away by what they could do. And I was terrified too. I think it went into my dreams and had that impact. But seeing a silent film, even, this was a while ago, it still had that impact, which is great. And then on Sunday night at 8 p.m. is when we're inducting Sergei Eisenstein and showing the 100th anniversary, or celebrating the 100th anniversary of Battleship Potemkin. We do have some other 100th anniversaries, like Buster Keaton's Go West, which is a great comedy about him coming west and becoming friends with a cow named Brown Eyes. It's a very weird, almost love story, but that makes it sound more twisted than it is. It's not. It's lovely. And then we have The Lost World 100th anniversary, which is a precursor to King Kong. Willis O'Brien, who animated King Kong, started with this and doing dinosaurs and stuff like that. So it's a very early science fiction-y film that established special effects. And then we have a really amazing, kind of long film called The Big Parade by a guy named King Vidor. It was the #1 grossing film of 1925, and it is generally considered one of the best silent films of all time and one of the best World War I films of all time. So it's quite a weekend of various different sort of things, and we're really excited to be sharing the wonderful art form that is silent film with the community.
And people go where to get information?
To find out about all the different screenings, just go to newhallywoodfilmfest.org, and you have everything there that you need to be able to come out and enjoy. All the screenings are free. We're all about celebrating. We are going to have some special guests, including Lon Chaney's grandson, Ron Chaney, which is very confusing. Will be there to accept on his grandfather's part. So
I just want to hear Phil talk about it more. Like
Yep,
your
I know.
energy and passion about it, it's contagious. And now I feel like I need to go find that scene so I know what you're talking
you
about.
can easily YouTube it. Definitely, it's out there. Look for a good quality version though, because there's a lot of not very good quality stuff, and you need the clarity to see. It's a little intense. Don't be surprised.
Okay. Wow. Well, Phil Lantis, thank you so much for being here, and we're excited about the Newhallywood Silent Film Fest.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Compared to the thousands of students that live in this valley, all of our own emotions and problems can seem insignificant. What are we if another stressed out, overworked student in a sea of misunderstood adolescents? True that most of the time they aren't really extreme worries like paying the bills or feeding a family, it's still something that's too much of a person of our age to handle. You have every reason to feel valid in your struggles. There's no shame in struggling. It doesn't matter if it's having a difficult time with a friend or a hard time in your family, deciding on which college to go to, if any at all. You are always valid. The worst thing you can do for yourself is decide that you are not worthy of growth, because at the end of those long, exhausting days, it is you that decides to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself looks different for everybody. Coming home and taking a mental health day can be great, but for some people, our issues are a bit bigger than that. There are so many resources available for you to use at your school, such as your Serenity Space, your campus social worker. These are great, simple solutions, as sometimes other professional help can be hard to ask for, let alone be very expensive. You can also always ask for help using your school's student care line. While all of these things can help, it is the mindset of change that truly helps us get to the place we all strive to be at. Jim Rohn once said that your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. And change doesn't have to be all on your own. It is a path we all work on together. Allow yourself patience and the mindset of the journey and not the destination.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. Okay, Santa Clarita, trust me when I say mark your calendars for this amazing event that celebrates animals of all kinds, big and small, two-legged, four-legged, furry, feathered. The Hart Park Critter Fair is back, offering a great opportunity for the community to come out and meet the adorable barnyard animals that call Hart Park home.
But it's more than just a critter fair. It's also a great chance to meet your new best friend. Several rescue organizations will be there with adoptable pets looking for their forever homes. And joining us today to tell us all about this free, family-friendly event is Rachel Kumalainen, Hart Park Animal Keeper. And just wait until you see who she's brought here today. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me back. I'm very excited to be here with some more of our wonderful animals.
So before we get introduced to all of your friends here, give us a sneak peek at this year's Critter Fair. What can people expect?
Well, we're really excited for the second year in a row to have our Critter Fair, and it just celebrates everything animals. So we have the LA County shelters bringing lots of adoptable animals, and of course we love helping them to get these animals their forever homes. So if you're looking to add someone to your family, this is a perfect opportunity to come and meet some animals. But also there's vendors like anything animals. You know, we have vendors that sell different types of animal things, like stuff that dogs can use or horses or whatever, plus there's food vendors, so it's just a really good time.
Why is it so important to get pet rescues to be able to be at this? Why is that important for this event?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we really want to encourage the networking, right, in the animal world, because none of us can save everybody. So when we work together as a unit, we have all these different rescues, we have the shelters, and we are just a really great hub for bringing all this fellow animal community in to be able to share and to help each other, right? That you make connections. I can't save that dog, but maybe someone else can, kind of thing. So anything we can do to help, I'm like the biggest animal advocate. I love animals and I would do anything to help them. And we're just, the staff and volunteers are so excited to offer this to the community once again.
I love that. And she's saying what a big animal advocate she is.
Yes.
With just a chicken on her lap. Just Phantom, the bantam chicken. That is so fun to say.
I know. Isn't she cute? I'll hold her up so you get a little bit better look. But look at how cute she is. Yeah, so she's got the little earmuffs. She's so cute.
What is it that makes her a bantam chicken?
So bantam, they're a smaller chicken.
Okay.
And but bantams also come in varied types of bantams, and so she is an Araucana bantam because she's got the little, they're called earmuffs, right? You see, notice those, you know, the feathers there. But she's going to be a year old actually next month, and she is just super friendly. She's just one of these birds that, you know, it's funny. I grew up with ducks, and they did the same thing. You know, when you build a relationship with them, when they want you to pick them up, they'll squat for you. So she actually squats and is like, yeah, pick me up. And so I pick her up and give her some love and some pets. And yeah, she's just really sweet. You know, you can see she's very relaxed, and you know, this is her debut.
Yeah. Now, when people go to Hart Park, are they able to pick up?
You know, so we do offer, and especially for the Critter Fair, we have different opportunities for animals to give interaction time to the public, and we will have lots of opportunities that day with our alpacas, with our pigs, with our tortoises, with our equine. With the birds, I will say, because of all the avian flu and Newcastle and all these other threats, we do have to be a little more careful about, because people can unknowingly bring things in, you know, with on their shoes and stuff. So the birds aren't really as accessible as far as handling, but the other animals, yes.
And there are other animals here.
Speaking of alpacas.
Yes.
There are. Would you like to meet our other critters?
Yes, please, bring them in.
All right, well, I'm going to give her to Kim, our wonderful assistant in the barnyard. And we're going to put her away, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our next.
They've been talking to us all segment long.
Yes, they're letting us know that they are here, and we're going to attempt to get them in the middle of us here.
Do they like to be petted?
So we'll turn them around here. They actually don't really like their faces touched. Let me move the back side here. Come on, let's go, Chanel. Come on.
See the tapping. The tapping. You said to tap.
Just tap in the back.
Tap.
We'll turn her around so then she can. There you go. And just you can just kind of push her to the side. So I don't know if you can see everybody right here. Is this an okay angle?
Yeah.
This looks fantastic.
This is great.
Wonderful. So right here, the gray and white and black one is Cruella, and as you can see, they were just sheared. So their hair is very short, and alpacas are actually much smaller than when you see them with all their fiber, right? Their hair gets really big and fluffy. So they were just sheared for the summer. So they're nice and cool, but we have Cruella, who is named after Cruella de Vil, because when she has her long hair, she kind of has that multicolored hair that dangles in front of her face.
And the fantastic smoky eye.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
And she's older. She's a senior. She's 20, and she's a mama. And then actually we have Chanel, a daughter by another mother. But this is Chanel, and she's very sweet. She gives kisses. We give kisses. She gives kisses on the cheek. Actually, they both do. They're both very friendly.
I feel like, Dave, get in there.
You know what I'm.
You want an animal kiss.
Do I want to come in? Who do I want to come into? Chanel?
Yep.
Chanel?
Lean right in, and she'll give you a kiss.
Oh, look at how she put her ears down when she did that.
Isn't she cute?
Oh my gosh.
And I love, as I'm petting Chanel, I mean, this coat is still thick.
It is, yes. And you know, of course, alpaca fiber is wonderful because if you're allergic to wool, it's actually hypoallergenic, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't have those surface fibers that a lot of people, you know, itch from wool.
Right.
It doesn't have that, and it never fades. So when you have a sweater or a scarf, you know, other things made from their fiber, it's wonderful. So yeah, we really enjoy our girls, and the public does get a lot of time to interact on weekends when we take them for walks around the park, that they get a chance to come and get an up-close personal, get a photo.
And they seem like they really like each other. Like, look at that. They're good
like
friends.
to be together.
They do, yeah. We have actually 5 alpaca girls total, and then we also have a llama girl. And so all of our camelids live in the same enclosure. It's actually 3 pens that are all connected. And yeah, they all get along famously. You know, alpacas are much smaller than llamas. But yeah, we have 2 mother alpacas, and then she has a daughter, and then Chanel has a sister by another mother. So yeah, but they're celebrities.
So then alpacas, sometimes they get confused for llamas.
They do. Llamas are much larger. So llamas can be 400 pounds, right? These guys are like really usually around 120. So yeah, there's definitely a size difference.
And these are not for adoption.
They're not, but they were rescued. Our animals at the park, generally our animals were rescued from whatever situation. Now, these guys all had a loving home, but unfortunately their person, she was battling cancer and she lost her battle. And so we had agreed to take her alpaca girls. So they've been there, I believe, since 2017 is when we took them.
Are you wrangling?
And,
I'm trying to wrangle.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
wrangling. There we go.
Rachel's helping. But come on, let's come over.
So talking about how much, I'm just curious. You were saying how much they weigh. What's the difference before and after they've been sheared? Because they were...
I will say, actually, the fiber is fluff. It really is.
So
it's so airy that you can actually, like if you take all the air out, it's actually a small amount. But because there's so much air in it, you put it in a trash bag. But if you actually push the air out, it's actually shocking how it's mostly fluff. Yeah, it really is.
Mostly fluff.
Yes. And you can see they have halters and lead ropes just like a horse would have, right? So it's very similar.
I love the eyes. The eyes are just
beautiful,
so
aren't they?
big.
They're kissing.
They're kissing each other. What is happening?
What's going on? What's going on?
Where can people go for more information about the Critter Fair and everything else that you've got going on?
So the Critter Fair, you can always go to friendsofhartpark.org, the website. Also, like I said, our event is on Saturday, May 17th from 10 to 2. And if you're interested in being a vendor, they can also call the park office, 661-259-1750, and talk to Amanda about being a vendor. But yes, and it's also on our big electronic sign, and we're trying to just get the word out. And we really appreciate you guys helping us to do that.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is so cool. Thank you so much for bringing them in, Rachel. This is, what a treat.
This is a first for us.
Cruella and Chanel, thank you for being here, along with Rachel and Phantom.
Thank you for the kiss.
Go ahead, Dave. Get in there one more time.
Right. There you go. Go give a kiss. Come on.
Oh,
there you go. She's coming. She's coming. There we go. There we go.
Kissing each other.
There we go.
All right, well, while this Love Fest is happening, I'm going to say stay tuned, because we'll be right back.
Are you an artist looking to get your work into the community and attract potential buyers? Are you a business owner in need of local original artwork to decorate your establishment? Well, the City of Santa Clarita is here to help. Through the city's Places with Spaces program, Santa Clarita businesses can be matched with a local artist to put their pieces on display. Here's how it works. First, fill out an interest form at santaclaritaarts.com. Artists will submit a digital portfolio along with information on their available work. Businesses will give information on their available space and the specific subject matter they would like to display. And we do the rest. The Santa Clarita Arts team takes applications from artists and businesses and plays matchmaker, helping create what can be a lasting relationship. For more information and to get started, visit santaclaritaarts.com.
Welcome back to SCVTV's Community Corner. So Dave, what do you get when you mix a silent film, a breast pump, and an alpaca?
A great episode of Community Corner. Hello.
So good. What was your favorite part?
It's hard to, when you get to hang out with alpacas.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that every day.
You got kissed by an alpaca
I got kissed
multiple times.
I did. By two different alpacas, actually, as it came to be.
Two ladies, Cruella and Chanel.
Yeah. So that was fun. What about you? What did you like about today?
I love the animals, of course, but having Phil Lantis on and hearing his passion for silent film, it makes me want to go watch them and then talk about them with Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this, the segment with the donating breast milk, that was actually really fascinating to me. And I think there's a lot of people that don't fully understand, I think, how important breastfeeding really is. I had a friend who said, no way is my wife ever going to do that. And I was like, you're the stupidest person I've ever met, because there's nothing that is better for a baby than breastfeeding. And to donate at that, I think that was a fantastic thing to see.
I love your passion for breastfeeding, Dave.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, but it is very cool. And having been a mother myself and gone through that process, it's special. It really is. And to know that breast milk can help babies who are sick. Like there's nothing better than that.
I know.
Nothing better than babies and alpacas and Philantis. Like it's all one.
It's all
thing.
coming together. It all came together today.
Thank you so much for joining us today to bring all of that together. Make sure to tune in next week and every week for another episode of SCVTV's Community Corner.
Check out all of our past episodes and segments at scvcommunitycorner.com or our Facebook at SCV Community Corner.
Thanks so much for watching.
We'll see you next time. At SCVTV, we believe in the power of television to inspire, educate, and unite our community. But we can't do it alone. Donate today, and together we can continue to create meaningful content and provide next-generation workforce opportunities.